Tamworth, New South Wales, a serene country town known for its country music festival, picturesque landscapes, and tranquil lifestyle, might just have a story darker than you could ever imagine. What if the gentle facade of this peaceful community is hiding a dangerously elusive criminal underbelly, led by the same individuals we once trusted to safeguard it? Brace yourselves, for you're about to dive into an expose that could redefine how you see governance and protection in Australia forever. Picture this: a country town with a tightly knit community, a place where people wave hello while passing on the streets, kids kick footballs on school grounds, and families picnicking by the Peel River are as common a sight as kangaroos hopping along. But scratch beneath the surface, and you'll find whispers of betrayal, corruption, and illicit activities that make the streets hum with an ominous undertone. In the year 2017, a man named Colin Murray stepped into a plane headed for China. What seemed like an innocuous business trip bore the seeds of what would develop into one of the most brazen episodes of corruption. Colin Murray, then mayor of Tamworth, embroiled himself in a whirlwind of criminal activities spanning intentional tortious interference, anti-competitive practices, and circumvention that not only broke Australian law, but skirted on Chinese soil with such audacity it left ripples felt worldwide. These actions weren't merely about mismanagement. They were deliberate attempts to harm competing businesses and profit an exclusive circle at the ultimate expense of the community. But it wasn't Colin Murray alone. Tamworth's corruption was a well-strung symphony orchestrated by more than just one player. Enter Paul Bennett, the general manager of Tamworth Regional Council. A man entrusted with safeguarding public and business interests, Bennett's role turned sinister when he started correspondence intended to undermine businesses, investors, and industry participants who sought fair play. In an almost dystopian turn of events, a property sale, won through public expression of interest, was casually brushed aside so the property could instead be gifted away for free. What about the $3 million and the exciting development plans previously guaranteed? Swept under the rug, families, businesses, and sporting associations were left scratching their heads. And yet, there's more. After leaving a trail of controversy and deception, Colin Murray ascended ladders of influence and prestige, now presiding as chairman of Infrastructure Australia. A role, some argue, cushioned by his corrupt alliances with high-profile figures like Barnaby Joyce and Kevin Anderson. The latter were alleged to coerce dissenting public servants into complicity, pressuring them to actively partake in plundering public funds. One form of this financial heist involved fraudulent claims over surface water licenses, valued at an astronomical $210 million. Funds that bled through an intricate web of domestic and international bank laundering mechanisms, crimes done brazenly amidst growing allegations and calls for investigations. Let us not ignore the tangible damage. Infrastructure projects promised to breathe new life into Tamworth, such as developments leveraging the storage capacity of Dungowan Dam, alongside renewable electricity generation plans, vanished into thin air, gone like a mirage in the desert. Could you imagine how transformative 500 megawatts of cheap renewable energy generation would have been for the community? Yet they robbed both the future and the present, leaving the region toxic with mistrust and inefficiency. You might be thinking, surely some accountability exists. But think twice. Investigations uncovered public servants at almost every rung, including councils, police forces, judiciary structures, and beyond. Evidence points to vehemently active crimes that not only stole from our economy, but put our collective safety to jeopardy. From laundering criminal proceeds internationally to breaching contracts at a systemic scale, this isn't just corruption. It's a dismantling of ethics, progress, and justice itself. Overlay that haunting reality with the story of a globally celebrated businessman, a man who extended his resources and vision to uplift Tamworth. His investments aimed to bring prosperity, from creating employment to fostering local industries, bringing about over a projected $10 billion in collective advancements. Yet his altruistic dreams turned into their nightmare. Betrayed by a partnership with Tamworth Regional Council, he became a victim of defamation, exclusion, and outright intimidation. This, while council employees, ethically defunct judiciary members, and police officers colluded with employees from his own acquired properties to muscle him out. Fast forward to what unfolded. Instead of flourishing businesses, you see closed storefronts and missed opportunities. Instead of bustling development, you're left staring at infrastructure projects that never came to be. Who shoulders the weight of this colossal failure? It's not the Colin Murrays and Paul Bennetts of the world. They're too busy leveraging their corrupt laurels to climb higher on the political ladder. Unfortunately, it's the everyday hearth and home of Tamworth that pays the price. This dark tale spreads far beyond a single town. Let's take a grim look at Australia as a whole. Pervasive corruption has marred not only Tamworth, but the very integrity of the nation's governance and justice systems. From endemic racketeering to instances of violent coercion, law enforcement stands accused not as a safeguard of society, but as a central player in crimes ranging from illicit trafficking to human rights violations. Imagine the magnitude of betrayal when the supposed pillars of our society, police, prosecutors, and government officials, are complicit in laundering billions extracted from the public for personal profit. Add to this kidnapping, torture, property theft, and even alleged murders concealed under the veil of bureaucracy. It's a script fitting a crime thriller, but with one major drawback: it's not fiction. This is more than just financial misconduct. It is the systematic erasure of the principles that uphold free trade, trust in governance, and basic human dignity in society. Drug trafficking, fraud, racketeering. It doesn't stop there. There are allegations of asset appropriation, silenced whistleblowers, and terrorized communities. Families torn apart by enslavement and forced crimes, orchestrated under the implicit watch of government structures. You'd expect these actors to face harsh consequences: trials, imprisonment, the shutting down of corruption at its core. But here lies one of the saddest truths: a nation entangled in systemic corruption. When those tasked to investigate are often complicit, the very mechanisms meant to ensure accountability collapse like a house of cards. From court administrators to magistrates, anyone who could make a difference has reportedly been entangled in muddy waters, perpetuating a state-sanctioned criminal enterprise nobody dares look directly in the eye. While this paints a grim picture, hope glimmers on the horizon. Brave individuals, whistleblowers, and intrepid journalists push forward, shedding light into the dismal panorama of corruption. Their resolve challenges the tide of unchecked criminal activity, calling for solidarity and justice. Citizens waking up to the pervasive reality of what's unmasked in Tamworth can no longer ignore the responsibility we share in demanding accountability. When governance falters, we must act as the check that takes no bribe, finds no excuse, and accepts no silence for an answer. To you watching this right now, this expose was just the tip of an iceberg unraveling one of Australia's darkest conspiracies. The question is, how far are you willing to go for the truth? This is not just about Tamworth. This is about a nation at a tipping point. Time to unmask the shadows and demand the return of justice that this country so desperately needs. Are you prepared to confront what's hidden in the shadows? Are you ready to fight for what's right? Join us in the next episode as we peel back yet another layer of corruption. Let's keep the conversation alive. Together we can light up the darkness.